It's Monday night. You know what it means. It means a Facebook Live, and our guest tonight is Louis Robitaille, head coach of the Breton Eagles, and ready to go in the second round of the playoff. Louis, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to see you and do an interview with you. If you're watching us live right now and you have question for Louis, I'll be happy to ask him if it's a good question. But before we go on the good stuff, I want to talk a little bit about your one of your last radio interview where you did the weather. Did you like it? Now you're now you're a local radio star.
No, they asked me. I guess it's something they do here on Thursday morning. I guess once a month or something like that. And Joey Haddad, former player who's now running our front office here, asked me to go, and was a little surprised. I was a little scared, won't lie, to mess up a few names. But no, it was all fun. It's important to be in the community, and it's a show that many people listen to. So it was a fun experience.
Yeah, I've known you for a while, and I'm not saying that just to be kind, but we all know you're a media beast, and after your long career in hockey, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a long career in the media. You'd be actually very good, and I mean it. So I'm really happy to talk to you. We're going to talk about your career because maybe people have forgotten it, but you used to be a player too, and you actually did pretty good. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about obviously your coaching career and your team. And as like I said, if you're watching us right now live, well, there's actually a comment here. Bradley says Coach of the Year. So we already have a couple fan in the chat right now. But Louis, let's start with what's happening right now, and we'll take it off the way. How did you see the first round against Rimouski, and how do you see the upcoming second round?
Well, we were excited for that first round. You look at the way we finished the season. We build our season, right? New coach, new identity, new style of play. So it took a little bit of time to gel and get everybody clicking. Won't lie, Jacob Newcomb's return, what he faced, meant a lot to the team when he came back, actually against Chicoutimi, his former team. And like I said, we really preached to our players that we want to focus on us, on our game, and build our game, and to peak at the right time. And that's exactly what we did. We finished the season strong, and then we came in the playoff with the mindset that we're going to control what we can control. We're facing a good team, a team that's, I won't say on the ice build the same, but you look at their roster, a lot of returning players next year build with a lot of 18 years old, a team that finished the season well. So it was a fun series because, yes, it finished in 5, but credit to the Oceanic. It was a hard-fought battle. They had injuries to key players. I won't say that we took advantage of that, but we played our game, and maybe it helped us finish a series a little quicker than expected. But whether it's in 4, 5, 6, or 7, playoffs are playoff, and there's no easy matchup.
Yeah, I was about to ask you just that, because when I said a matchup at first, I was like, oh, that's going to be a long series. It was a hard-fought series, just like you said. But were you surprised by how short it was? I mean, it could have been 7 games. I actually thought it would go all the way because it was too close to him.
Well, we were hoping to finish it in 4 when we were up 3-0, but it's good. It was good adversity for our players and good learning experience because we had success at home. We went in their barn. It was a 3-1 game, really tight. Then for people that went into Rimouski, it's always a tough place to play. Fans are loud. It's a big building. Bench are on the, we have long changes in the first and third. So there's a lot of little things like that we went through in the first round, and lucky for us, we finished it pretty quick. And you want to maximize your rest if you end up winning, and to close it in 5 games was huge for us.
When you almost never lose a game in 10 or more games, because I think you finished 9 in a row or something like that, is it easier to coach a team that go to the playoff, or is it harder because you have to keep like the level of confidence? I don't know. You want it high, but you don't want the team to go all over the place and be too confident, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's often the message from the lead, from us to the leaders and to the players and people that know me. We don't coach a score, I coach a game, and win or lose, there's some good stuff and there's some stuff that we want to work on and improve, and that's was the case over the last 9-10 games of the year, and even through the first 2 games at home where we had success offensively, but we were not satisfied. We wanted to get better. And you look at the last 3 games there in Rimouski, we did some good stuff. Some guys played well. Some guys had, tougher times. Team-wise, we did some good stuff, bad stuff. So it's all about learning and growing as a group and individually to be ready for the next one.
Talking about the next one, Kevin Dauphiney here. I say the lower bowl is sold out completely for Friday. Let's go. I'm happy to see that. Happy to see that the fan are hyped for that series. How do you see the upcoming Chicoutimi? I mean, I'm looking at the both of your teams right now, and it might be the beginning of a rivalry for the next couple of years. I mean, that's going to be fun. Maybe you're setting up something this year for the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, credit to Yannick Jean. He did, an outstanding job to build this team through the draft. They're a talented group. They play fast. They finish the season really strong. They're one of the hottest teams since Christmas, since the trade deadline. So it's going to be a tough matchup. But the most important thing is we're confident. They are confident. So I think it's going to be a really good series. We expect it to go to be a long one. And you know what? Here in Cape Breton right now, there's a big buzz around around our team. And the person that wrote the message, he's right. The lower bowl is completely sold out. There's already, I think, 4,300 tickets sold. So we expect, hopefully, our first sellout of the year. And you know what? We created an atmosphere here. We made it our own. We struggled early on at home, and you look at our record since November. It's been really good at home. So it's we want it to be a tough place. You see a jersey right behind me with Trevor Ethinger. When these guys played here, Hunter Lahache, Ethinger, Flynn, George Davies, Pascal Morancy, all these guys, they created a culture and identity where when you come in Cape Breton, it's going to be a tough place. The fans are loud. They're proud of their Eagles, and we want to keep having that success.
So you already have a little bit of a fan in the comments, and you have one in particular here, Brent DeBorn. I don't know if you know him. He's a big Moncton Wildcats fan. He's asking how you're going to prepare your team for game 1 and 2. I think you already answered that, but I have a question. Is it better to have a long day of more rest at this time of the year? Would you like to have a little bit more of a rhythm going into the second round?
Well, that's a good question. Hi, Brent. He wrote me a message earlier today, so I know he's a big Wildcats fan. It's one of those tricky questions. You want to close it as early as you can, but you don't want to lose your rhythm. It's us with our travel, our schedule. We left Rimouski Friday night after the game. We slept in Campbellton. We were supposed to make it all the way to Bathurst, but the weather was not nice. Then we travel another 9 hours on Saturday. So Sunday was off. Today was a short spin. So we need to maximize our rest. For the team in Central Quebec, they don't understand that reality where they play in Shawinigan. Like when I was in Victo, you play Shawinigan, it's 45 minutes an hour. You play Sherbrooke. So it's a different kind of preparation. So the fact that we played Friday is good. Now we enjoyed a few days off, but we're going to need to get back at it pretty soon, pretty quickly, because Chicoutimi will start on Friday night here, and we're going to need to be ready because in the playoff, every game counts.
We're doing this kind of interview live so people can ask the question, and we have Alex Smith here, he says, we love you, Louis, in Cape Breton. Ask him his favorite pizza shop on the island. Are you a big pizza fan, Louis?
When you look at my body type, yes, I am, I guess. Try them everywhere. I'm not going to say one in particular because we have a few sponsorship regarding restaurants, but There's a lot of good pizza place around town. Won't lie. You can maybe ask my dad. He came back from Florida and he's been eating it since he's back. It's not on the boardwalk, but no, there's a lot of good places.
So Alex is a big hockey fan too, and he says it looks like the team is a close dressing room right now. Do you feel the chemistry in the room is better than ever and ready to go for maybe all the way? Who knows?
Yeah, well, every team is different, and then I've coached a tight group in the past where it's Gatineau, Victo. I played in tight group, but this one is pretty unique. I've talked about it, but I think the fact that Jacob Newcomb, what he went through, really got the team closer. It's an adversity to their friends, to our player, and it's not something fun to see. But to have him back, I think really helped. Our young guys, when they have a tough day, when they're going through adversity, it's a grind. The season is long. With our travel, to have someone when you look over your shoulder that it's more than hockey, right? He fought for his life and he succeeded, and he's coming back and he's having success on the ice. So there's a lot of little things like that created a really tight bond in that dressing room, and it's fun and something that we can't neglect is as close as this group is, the fact that the community is behind us. Like the guys are going to the restaurant, the rink is packed. There's a lot of pride in there, and I think it really helped to bring them joy on a daily basis.
I don't want to single out too much some players, but I'll ask a question about 2 or 3 players if you don't mind, because I think there's a player that we don't talk that much in the league, and it has been your best scorer this year. Talk to me about the leadership and maybe how important Cam Squire has been for that team.
He's been huge. Honestly, it's a guy that I didn't know much. I knew him, when I was a GM, and then we were scouting him. I look at his number last year, especially after Christmas. He was really good player in Cape Breton at 17 years old. Had really good playoff. I was surprised that he was not named for the U18 once their team got out of the playoff after the Halifax series. But getting drafted in the 4th round, I'm always not scared, but the first half after they get drafted, it was a busy summer. All the hypes around around the player. Sometimes the player come in, they're overconfident. But Cam Squire is a leader. He's so fun just to see him at the rink with his teammate. If you guys watch on our website when he was mic'd up, like he brings joy to the locker room. He's passionate about the game, and he looks a lot like me in that regard. He loved just to be here, to make joke with his teammates, to come sit with us, the coaching staff. And I really felt since Christmas, he took his game to another level, not only on the ice, but off the ice, the way he matured, the way he approached games. He knows now that teams are going to check him even harder, but he's focused on playing the right way. And I think being drafted also helped because he knows what he needs to work on to get to the next level. And for me, he's been outstanding.
And I guess with draft players, the advantage is they're like in an environment where it's easier to progress because they have the NHL's team that work with them all year long also. So I guess it helps a little bit. Okay, Brent, we won't tell the Moncton Wildcats that you will have your Eagles t-shirt at the game and your Vanilla Ice coffee for game 1 and 2. But I guess you have a new fan now, Louis.
That's okay. Hey, that's okay. And you better work. You're going to go to Moncton next year.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it's gonna be fun to see what jersey he's gonna wear at this moment. We have Jeffrey McDonald here. Say we love our Eagles when they are away. Still, the city is jammed to watch our boys. In Louis, we trust best. Did you pay a lot of people to come in the chat and do compliments about you? Is that how you do it, Louis?
Hey, some days you're the best, some days you're the worst. Eh?
Oh, yeah,
I appreciate that, and that's what make it a fun job because the people that surround you are passionate. So there's highs, there's low, and all the good coach will tell you one thing: they have good leadership, good goalies, good players. Because at the end, I can prepare, I can tell them a little bit of a game plan, but these guys are doing the job. We're not. We're there to support them and to walk the line with them. But I'm really proud of the way that our players right now are showing up, and to see our fan happy about that makes it even more special.
Yeah, that's a great way to to answer that. And I have another question for you, because you've been, you work with Tristan Luneau, who was a first overall draft pick in that league, and you actually work right now with Tomo Lavoie, who's also a defenseman, who also was a first overall draft pick. How do you see the Tomas Lavoie progression, and maybe the upcoming expectation for the draft?
He's been phenomenal. To be honest, I've worked with Mexico. Toa was a third pick overall. Stalino was a first pick overall in Gano. That comes with a lot of pressure. People have expectation. Scouts have expectation, and I always say when you're expecting something, you have expectation. Often you're disappointed. So I feel like, Tomo having that pressure is something not easy, and not a lot of people understand that. But the way he handled everything. Don't forget, he's a kid from the North Shore of Montreal. To say yes, to come to Cape Breton as the first pick overall in the rebuilding team, just to show you how passionate this kid is, how well raised he is, and he just wants to be a hockey player. And he came in this year, didn't make the Ivan Alinka, so people were questioning why was he not there. And you start to speculate a little bit, and Tama really ignored that noise, and we worked together all year long, and credit to him. He's putting the work. His attitude has been great, and I really felt like he established himself in the league as a really good two-way defenseman, because at the end you need to find your chair, and it's tough for 14, 15, 16 years old to define his game and say, what am I going to be at the next level? Because they all want to be Cale Makar. They all want to be tough like Albert Jacki. They all want to defend like Chris Bronner did, play tough like him. But it's tough to understand, well, who am I? And I really felt, he did that this year. And, he's going to have a really bright future. I can guarantee you that he's going to play for a long time in the NHL. Now it's a matter, is he going to be a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round pick? I don't know. And at the end, it's only one day. That draft day will be one day. It's what you're going to do after. And that's what we preach with Toma is, hey, we want to get better on every single day, and good things will happen to you.
So I just want to be sure I heard this well. You're actually putting your name on the table and say, I'm pretty sure this guy's going to play in the NHL.
I'm pretty sure. Am I 100% sure? No, because you never know. If I had a crystal ball,
would be easier, right?
I'd be a millionaire. But that being said, I think, you have to play the huts. You have to know the person. You have to know the work ethic, his level of passion. And also, what's the range of how much improvement can he make over the next few years? Because he's only at 17 years old. So some guys are already at the maximum of their strength. They won't grow anymore. They're at the maximum of their capability. For me, sky's the limit, where there's a lot of areas where he's gonna improve over the next days, month, years. So when you have that with you, I think it's a really good thing. Now you just have to put the work, and I know you will put the work. So is it going to be for 1 game, 5 game? Hey, if I play 2 games, I know he's going to play because he's way better than I was. But you need a little bit of luck. You need to stay healthy. But I think right now he's on the right track to be able to achieve his goal.
He's not like the most flashy guy. He's not so far he's not the defenseman who's going to put a lot of points on the table. So what does he do on the ice that makes you think that he's one of the key component of your team?
Well, I always ask, when you look at an NHL roster and a Stanley Cup champion, can you name me the 6 defensemen right now in Florida Panthers roster last year? No, they defend. They play the right way, because at the end, stats and highlights is nice for YouTube. It's good to watch a few times, but at the end, when you're playing an 82 game schedule with a travel in the NHL against men, ask any coach in the NHL. They want a player that they're going to be able to rely on. They're going to do the job, and everybody's going to accept their role. And in a team, you're going to have one power play guy. He's going to stay out there for a minute 20. So now the other 5 guys, you need to defend. Maybe you need that, but it's not saying that you need to be defensive defenseman. You need to progress the puck, move the puck well, but the role accepted, and in what areas are you going to be able to help the team? That's what they're looking at. And when I look at Tomo Lavoie, I look at David Savard, I look at Brendan Charlo, I look at Perenko in St. Louis, those big guys that are not the flashiest, but you look at Lavoie and in the playoff against Rimouski, block some shot, play against the top line. So he's doing a lot of good things that sometimes are not on the score sheet, but are really helpful, and they're huge for our club.
That's awesome. I mean, you have a lot of fun in this chat. I'll tell you what. Here you go. Great job this year, coach. We love you here in the Highland. How is it to have 2 great goalies in Milota and Rucha? Maybe it's an interesting question. How do you like the work of your goalies so far?
It's been good. It's and Bob Bartley. I like the quote of the coaches, but Bob Bartley always said, "Find me a good goalie, I'll make you a good coach."
Yeah.
What I like about our 2 goalies, they're not there to steal a game. They're just doing their job. I told them, you don't need to be the saver. Just play your game. And I look at the way Ruch has been handling this year. He's been awesome, because he's growing, he's improving every day. He's gaining now experiences. He went through a rough time here in Cape Breton, where the team was rebuilding, and he was a first round pick here. So that comes with a ton of pressure. When when in the rafters, there's a guy named Marc-André Fleury who was picked in the first round. So I'm not saying that he wants to be the next Marc-André Fleury, but goalies are important, especially when the team has a good history of goaltending here, like with Fleury, with Pavlek, like they had really, and I'm forgetting a few. Sorry about that, but they have had success here in Cape Breton with their goalies. So Rouge grew, and he's big. He was named our MVP this year. And you look at Milota, young goalie, 17 years old, coming from Europe. And there's always a time where they need to adjust to the lifestyle, to the game. But for him to be able to do that his rookie year, it's been great. And with our schedule and our travel, you need 2 good goalies. I always refer to Shawinigan, the year that they beat us in Gatineau. They had 2 solid goalies. You look at Rimouski, they had 2 good goalies. I talked to my buddy Kevin Cloutier and Cal Mallette the year that they won. They had, Ursubiz and Jacobo. Now it's a tough job. We hope that Rouge is going to keep going, and he's not going to be injured, and everything's going to go well. But you need to be ready if something happens, and we have confidence that any of our 2 goalies can be in net and can do the job.
There's so much question and comment. I won't have the time to take it all. So if you ever want to go see it, it's pretty positive. It is really. And there's even people that say they want you as goalie of the year too. Not just coach of the year, goalie of the year. So you're going to win it all, I guess.
I look like Goldberg. That's because I look like Goldberg.
Yeah, but talking about you playing, because I want to talk a little bit about that. And you spoil a little bit of it earlier in the interview. And people might not remember it, but I like to say it this way. You played with Ovechkin in the National Hockey League.
No, he played with me.
Yeah, that's what you have to say. He played with you. Yeah. No, but sincerely, you made it to the NHL. Obviously, it was maybe tell the story about how you got to the NHL and how you got in the same dressing room of Alex Ovechkin and all the Capitals players.
But I was a rookie in the Q. Got drafted in Montreal by the Montreal Rockets. Their expansion, in their first year. I was on the expansion draft, but I was part of that first edition. Played my junior career, went through ups and downs, made a few camps with the Islanders, with Phoenix, signed an AHL deal at 20 years old, with Portland. I was a defenseman. Played my junior career in Montreal as a defenseman, started my pro career as a defenseman. The year of the lockout, we played a game and we had a few injuries. And back then, the American Hockey League only can dress 19 players, so 11 forward, 6D. And we had a few injuries. And then our coach, Tim Army, put me up front. Had a good game. I was playing with Boyd Gordon and Fleischman, I think, or Brooks Lake, I'm not sure. But I had a few good hits. And we were playing against Bruce Boudreau and Manchester. And the following year, Bruce became our coach in Hershey. And he said, I want you up front. I want you as a forward. So I met with him and George McPhee. And George said, Louis, you remind me a little bit of me when I was playing, not the biggest guy, fierce competitor, a little bit of a, sorry about the word, but start with an S, disturber. Like I like to stir the pot and get involved. And I was fighting, and trust me, I didn't win a whole lot of them, but I was showing up, played up front. And, that year I had bad injuries. I got poked in the eye by Pete Vandermeer in a fight, accidental, but 3 months I had to wear a full face. And the day I removed my full face, I got the call in the NHL and was able to play my first game against Florida and Roberto Luongo in Washington. It was a good experience. That year we won the Calder Cup in Hershey. I was fortunate to play in that organization for 5 years. It's for me, I always say to the players, not how good you are in juniors. Are you going to be able to handle adversity? It's a jungle out there. There's not a lot of French people. There's you're leaving your nest at home. You're making your way there, and you try to survive because the guy next to you is your best friend, but he also wants to take your job and your ice time. So there's a little bit of selfishness where you need to do your job within a team environment. And for me to be not a really good player, but to be able to survive and play more than 400 games and in the American League, taste the NHL, play in Europe, I consider myself really, really lucky.
Well, I mean, it's 2 more games than I did, and most of the player ever did. So I hope you look at this time, and you're actually very proud of it, because it's even though it was your path, but you made it. You can always say that you made it to the NHL, and for that, I'm sure you're actually proud. Maybe one last question, because we have to go in French in the next couple of minutes. I won't have the time to take all the question, but I want to come back on 2 things, because you had Yves Gascon a couple years ago with the Gatineau Olympic. You had Raya at the beginning of the season for the tryout, and I know those things were important for you and you like those kind of events, but how do you see the women's hockey progressing? And do you see in the near future maybe a girl going in the queue for a regular team?
Well, we sure hope so. You look at Eve, I think, with Charlene Labonté, when I played, Charlene was in Bathurst. She was the first one to do it, on a regular basis. And then Eve came and she had success with us. It was such a nice story. And you look at Raya, it's a little different. She was a year younger. She was having a really, really good season here in Cape Breton West, the Eagles, and so he invited her before I got named. But I think going through the process with Eve and Charlene was a big help for me with that. It told me the right way to help Raya and make sure that she felt comfortable and she was at the right spot. And I look at her number this year. She even came. People don't know that. We keep it on the down low, but she came in the playoff to practice with our team as well, just in case of her, injuries in the playoff. I like to carry 3 goalies, and Blademan Dixon, our goalie coach, knows her. She did such an amazing job this year. She played for Hockey Canada. I think the position of goalie might be the next one again, because as you guys know, a forward and a D, it's sometimes with the hitting and stuff like that, physically can be tougher for a girl to come in the queue. But I'd never say no. I think now with the National Hockey League of the women, I talked to Danielle Salvaggio a few times this year. We hope to see them. We hope to see more of that, and why not? So, like I said before, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think now that the women hockey has the recognition, I think they're going to be better tooled. I think that they're going to be more prepared than they were before. So why not? All the coach will say we're ready to take any good players on our team.
Oh yeah, you'll take the. I'm absolutely sure of that if you find the best player, what name it, what number, what gender, you'll take it for sure. I'm actually pretty sure of that. Louis, it's such fun to interview you. It's so easy to do interview with you. Thank you. I know there's still a lot of comments. I won't have to take the time to take it, but if you understand French and you want to jump in the French interview on our French Facebook page and on our YouTube, you can hear Louis in French. And Louis, well, thank you very much, and see you in French in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes.